The lives of the LGBT people have been shaped by discrimination in both subtle and significant ways. How can we get others to be more open-minded about the LGBT community? With Palawan Discourse, our goal is to create an open and safe space to have impactful conversations to inform and educate. In this episode, we have invited diverse people to join the discourse and tell us about their stories, their opinions to a certain topic, and their experiences involving the LGBT community. So let's begin the discourse.
Hello everyone, my name is Katrina. I will be your host today. Let me introduce you to our participants.
Hi, my name is Antwon. I prefer to be called Miss A. I am 33 years old, transgender woman. I prefer to be called she or her. I currently work as Director of Global Operations for Sitel Group here in Puerto Princesa. I also look after some sites in South America and North America. I love what I do, and I moved here in Palawan 4 years ago. Reason being is, of course, it's the island, it's the paradise. Who wouldn't want to work in the paradise?
Hi, my name is Aubrey. I'm 27. I am a law student. I also work full-time as a learning manager in Sitel Group. I'm born and raised from Bicol. I moved to Manila for work and for school. And then just 2 years ago, I moved here in Palawan. I identify as a female. I am bisexual, and I'm in a very happy relationship with my partner, Ina. And together, we raised 4 very adorable fur babies, 2 dogs, Julio and Pepito, and 2 cats, Charlie and Lucy.
Hi, I'm Jaren, 30 years old. I'm a man, I'm a he, I am a Christian, a believer of Jesus Christ, a believer of God and its absolutes. I'm a business owner. I love music. I teach music to kids and to adults as well. And I'm happily married for 6 months. I just got married last December.
Hi, I'm Michelle, also known as your Palawan Princess. I'm 31 years old, female, and I'm a she or her. I was born and raised here in Puerto Princesa, an entrepreneur managing various family business, a travel and wellness advocate, and a proud member of the Rotaract and Rotary Club of Puerto Princesa Central.
Hi, I'm Frederick Galang, 28 years old. You can call me Fred. I'm a male. I am a him or he. I was born and raised here in Palawan. I studied in Manila for college and I'm a civil engineer. I went back here in Palawan 3 years ago to help in our family business. I'm also in a 3 years and 5 months LDR relationship.
Hi, my name is Tareq. I'm 35, originally from Kuala Lumpur. I was born a male and identify as non-binary, which is something new. As for pronouns, I'm still trying to get used to it. So I don't mind being called a he, they, them at the moment. So I moved to Palawan in 2019 in July to basically just work on myself. And I didn't realize how much work I needed. Being in Palawan has really helped me open up, to heal, to feel more self-acceptant. So I'm very grateful to be here because I feel like I'm a much better person now. My background in Malaysia, I am a HIV advocate. I'm a mental health advocate. I've done a few talks and panels regarding HIV and acceptance in the society because in Malaysia, being a Muslim country, it's not easy for people to be themselves or to speak out about sex issues or religious issues or mental health issues. There's still a lot of shame and guilt when it comes to these sort of issues, basically. So, yeah, that's my story.
Let's start with Antwon. What was your experience?
Growing up in a provincial community plus a Muslim community wasn't easy, especially when you're gay or you're the alternative. They will call you names, they will judge you by your physical appearance, and they will judge you because you are not normal, they will say. I mean, they will normally tell you that or call you abnormal because they only believe in that, man and woman category. So I have experienced discrimination.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry to hear that. Ate Mish, what was your experience?
My answer is no, I've not experienced it directly, but I have experienced it at my work. So I manage a travel agency I had this corporate big group. There are about 150 people. And so usually I hire tour guides in Puerto Princesa, and I usually assign each tour guide per group, like 1:10. One tour guide for every 10 people in a van. So it's about mga 15 vans. And we're getting ready. Everybody's coming down na in the hotel. And suddenly the coordinator of the group approached me and said, "Mitch, we have a problem." And I said, "Ano po yun?" So he answered, "Can you change the tour guide of van number 2, which is gay tour guide?" And at that moment, I didn't know what to do because in my experience as a travel manager, travel owner, I'm not much into the gender of a person, but more into the performance, which is he's actually one of the best tour guides I had in operating a travel agency. And so automatically what I did was, buti na lang, meron akong isang group. It's a smaller group. And so I changed the tour guide of that smaller group na lang to my other group para matuloy na lang yung trip namin because everybody's ready and ayoko namang magkaroon pa ng hassle. But after that, I feel, parang I feel ashamed. I feel sorry for my tour guide na sinabi ko, sorry, I had to change your group for today. And right after that, I think naintindihan naman niya what is happening during that situation. But again, up until now, I still can't believe na mangyari yun sa akin.
Because I worked in a construction firm before. So when you're gay, the workers won't treat you well, or they won't respect you like how they respect me because I'm a straight man. It disappoints me somehow because I know as a person, that person will feel bad, and of course it will also affect their confidence and their performance. I won't do it myself. I won't discriminate my friends or somebody else, but hopefully maging okay yun or maging maayos.
Let's move on to the next question. So, do you agree with same-sex marriage?
As long as you're not offending, or for sure you will offend somebody, but as long as you're not affecting their lives directly, or wala kang tinatapakan na ibang tao, okay lang ako dun. I'll be accepting that, and I'll go for same-sex marriage because that's what you want and that's how you feel. So that's my opinion about the same-sex marriage.
I believe it's a violation of moral law, natural law, and it goes conflict with the government that we have, of course. To know really the purpose of something, we need to go back to the creator of everything. So he creates everything, and he knows the purpose of why he created it. He created man, and he created woman. We call it woman for a purpose. Woman stands for a womb man. I am okay with calling it something else, cohabitation, co-living, have an agreement with each other. I'm okay with that. But we don't call it a marriage because it's created for creation. It's for procreation. It creates something else. It creates life.
But I think when people talk about same-sex marriage, togetherness, union, what have you, people always are quick to think of it as a preferential thing. Like people would want to be together just because. But I think what we fail to realize are two things. First, rights. Second, protection. Jared was speaking about laws and stuff. Again, something that's not very common knowledge to everyone is marriage is a basic human right.
What do you do with marriage? You have to create a family. A woman bears a child, but right now there are other ways to create a family. What if a woman is infertile? That person or that individual will not be able to portray or deliver what is indeed to be a woman, right? For me as a transgender woman, or as a person living as a transgender woman, it's my dream to be married. It's my dream to walk in the aisle wearing a bridal gown, a bouquet of flowers and all that, and all the fancy stuff. But it is a challenge for us right now. I've seen a lot of people who united, we call it unity, in our community, if I'm not mistaken. But Aubrey is right, the law is not there. Conjugality is not there. When you buy something, it's yours. What if you have a family? What if you adopted a child, right? There's no legality or document that tells you unless you enroll that person. I have capability to create a family financially, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and not physically, but in a way that I will probably adopt someone that might be unable to live a life that they should live. So I can build a family because I want to help that person. It may be a child, and I think nowadays we see a lot of women who drop their newly born kid, right? Recently, we had cases in Palawan about that. And I am very sad because bearing a child is supposed to be a gift for a woman. And them putting their child in a trash bin, in a comfort room, that is not right. That is unlawful. That is against human rights. We're humans. We have law for humans. We don't have law for man and woman. Even animals, they have law, right? So it's a matter of us being able to understand what is really the objective of marriage, right? And I think the society has been innovative this time of what is marriage all about. People have created that unity junction for us to be able to at least say it that we are married.
I think it ties perfectly well for our next question. Are you aware of any LGBTQ communities in Palawan?
We are called Balangao. We are a small organization as of the moment. I was actually one of the founders of this organization 2 years ago. Currently, I'm part of this organization as board of director for professional and communications. And, our goal is to really provide support system to the LGBT community, especially to the young ones. Living in a province is different from living in a big jungle like Manila. I studied in Manila. I finished my college in Manila. I was exposed to whatever Manila could offer. And it's overwhelming. Like, comparing to Palawan or Puerto Princesa, it's a small community, but majority is not aware of our organization. Right now, we're trying to build the organization to become somebody who is known to support people. We didn't build the organization for us to be known. I mean, of course, we wanted to be known because that brings us sponsorship, financial help, and all that. But we wanted to be known of being an organization who could support people, especially in the LGBT community. In our city right now, in Puerto Princesa, transgenders like me, we do not have an endocrinologist, right? One of our objective is in the future we will be able to provide proper education on what is an LGBTQI plus community. Soon it will be A to Z. We don't know, right? But kidding aside, we just wanted to market ourselves as the organization that could provide support in whatever way we can, in whatever valid and legal way we can.
Thank you for that. I think I didn't even know that you guys existed prior to this. Thank you. I wanted to call on someone who, said you have never heard of a community, LGBTQ community here before. Fred, why do you think that is?
I think maybe because since in general we don't yet generally accept the members of LGBTQ, I think that's one of the reasons. That's why you don't advertise your community to be known right away. Most of the members also, they came out already, but they're afraid to reveal themselves to the community that they are a member of LGBTQ, and it might also affect their family and their friends. So maybe that's one of the reasons why your members won't advertise your community right now. So I don't know there's an existing community here in Puerto.
So that kind of leads me to my next question then. Do you think Palawan is inclusive of the LGBTQ community?
I moved to Palawan nearing 2 years ago. Yes, the community is very accepting, meaning no discriminations. Well, as for me personally, no discrimination, no catcalling, no judgment. As how it normally is in from where I am, which is Manila, where you're very on your toes because of your gender. So what I witness is, yes, it's generally accepting, meaning again, no hostility, no violence, whatnot. But in terms of inclusivity, I think there's an opportunity in this community, particularly because people are not yet, like, they don't know what they don't know, right? So the only reason why they're not hostile against us is because they don't fully understand it. Just to cite an example, my partner and I have a very, very close friend who's a professor in PSU. So never have we ever felt any, hostility against or from this person. But when she introduced us to her colleagues, which are also professors, she said, Aubrey and Ina, best friends. So I think that's my point on inclusivity. Acceptance is there, but in terms of acknowledgement and making valid the existence of LGBT partnerships, there's a big opportunity there. So yeah.
Jaren, you said that you agree that Palawan is inclusive of that community?
Yeah, I believe so. As a Filipino, we're all hospitable. We don't really like discriminate each other based on whatever basis. But it's really hard to accept that the fact that, of course, we're called the city of the living God. Christians, strong Christians and Roman Catholics and any more other types of Christianity which believes in the moral law of God, in the nature of God, in how He set up things. So it's really going to be hard because it's totally against the righteousness that God has defined. The Bible calls it unrighteous and ungodly. So basically we can, as humans, we can take God out of the picture. So in democracy, we can actually legalize wrong, but we can never make it right. We have anchored into something. My morals are anchored based on how God created things. So I think the inclusivity is there, of course, but it's really going to be hard for the acceptance. Like for me, I'm totally against that. I don't want to promote that. Because if I promote that, I'm going to be promoting same sex per se, the activity, which I go totally against. But don't get me wrong, I am not against the person. I am against the practice. It's also like being a drug addict, even a murderer, even all the smallest sins, all the smallest and the biggest unrighteousness, I go to that. I balance that well. And that is not right with God. And I'm not saying that because I'm perfect. I'm also someone who's needing forgiveness. I know my sins, and I don't want to go there anymore. Right. I don't want to go there anymore.
Tareq, what do you think?
I would say, like I used to be a flight attendant, so I've been to a lot of places. I would say that Palawan probably is the most accepting and friendliest society or community that I've ever experienced, Very warm, very welcoming, very hospitable. Like, I love being here. That's why I've been here for 2 years. But yeah, I agree with what Jared said in the sense, like, I don't think that real acceptance or inclusivity will happen because of religion. I feel as long as religion is there will never be acceptance and inclusivity. For real. I mean, like, real acceptance. Because even like now, like, I've met people who, they're very friendly with me. They accept me. They're okay with me cooking their food. They're okay sharing drinks with me. And they know that I'm a gay person. But then they would say things like, oh, if my child ever came out gay or lesbian or trans, I would never accept it. So there's that sort of, what's the word? Hypocrisy? I don't know if hypocrisy is the right word because I feel like hypocrisy is kind of strong. But yeah, it just comes to show. It's like, okay, so you're okay with me. You're okay having my food. You're okay sharing things with me. But if your child came out like me, then you have a problem. So I feel like there's some form of fakeness there. Because what is that? That's not acceptance. That's tolerating, I guess. So I think the whole world right now is at the stage of tolerating, but not accepting. And religious trauma is a huge deal. People don't realize it, but religious trauma is real. Because from young, you are told who you are is a sin, who you are is wrong. And you don't really get that concept as a child. But then it's stuck in your subconscious mind, and then you unconsciously do things to harm yourself because of what other people believe and say. Like, I'm not saying that I'm against religion, I'm not. I feel though religion should be a personal thing. Like, whatever you want to believe in, that's up to you. Like, I believe in God too, but I have a different way of believing in it. But I'm not going to shove my beliefs down your throat and harm you. It may, because again, like, I don't think people realize what they're doing is harmful because they think they're doing the act of God, they're spreading love, they're spreading kindness, but they don't realize the mental and spiritual damage that they're doing to another person. So just to wrap up, I fully believe as long as there is religion, there will never be acceptance.
Thank you everyone for being here. I think I learned so much from everyone. Everyone gave really insightful answers to everything, and I just appreciate this space, and I'm sure our audience has learned a lot too. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for watching the first episode of Palawan Discourse.
Our participants have shared their wonderful experience in the LGBTQ community in Palawan. We hope that you've learned a lot from this discourse. I know we have.
Watch out for the next episode. If you have any suggestions for future topics, comment below.
If you like this episode, please like, share, and subscribe. So what do you think?
Do you think Palawan is ready?